Welcome to SVG-TV's news for Wednesday, September 7, 2016. I am Rochelle Baptiste with the details. In light of a recent advisory of periodic interruption to the Majorca water supply following a series of landslides in that area, the Central Water and Sewage Authority is calling on its customers to adopt a more proactive approach to water storage and disaster preparedness in this hurricane season. We hear more on the story from SVG-TV's Nikita Tony.
Committed to providing Vincentians with the highest quality of water supply, the Central Water and Sewage Authority urges Vincentians to be prepared as they are still in the middle of the hurricane season. In a news release dated Tuesday, September 6, 2016, the Central Water and Sewage Authority advised that the continuous heavy rainfall in the interior of the island had resulted in a series of landslides above its Majorca intake, with the resulting mud contaminating the water supply. In light of the situation, the CWSA has seen it prudent to advise persons of the possibility of periodic interruptions to the water supply in the areas fed by that system. CWSA Public Relations and Marketing Manager Joan Ryan explained that persons should not be alarmed by the recent interruptions, as they are part of the company's attempts to provide a high-quality product to Vincentians.
We have about 11 or so water catchments, and a couple of those are in the Mariacqua area. The Majorca system was recently affected and several areas were out of water. The CWSA will continue to be vigilant in monitoring, and whenever, if ever there are problems with our sources, with our water supply system, we will continue to work assiduously to ensure that your supply is restored.
Ryan said that while the CWSA continues to do their part, it is also necessary that persons do their utmost to safeguard themselves in the event of low or no water supply.
Any silt within the system, immediately we will close down. The CWSA will be working behind the scenes to ensure that the system is flushed and that the water is restored to the quality, the high quality that it should be at. Additional storage, water storage capacity for your homes, for your family. If another landslide occur in that area or in any area throughout our country, we wish for our customers to be prepared. If you have storage for a day or 2-3 days, that would be good.
Highlighting that while the recent rains have been very beneficial to the water sources, Ryan called on persons to stay alert and be prepared, as it is only the middle of the hurricane season, which means that landslides may increase and cause possible disruptions to the water supply.
Dry rivers or dry streams, or where we do not have that kind of problem. The public do not need to worry about that. Our concern now is basically the effects of heavy rains and land slippage on our system. The likelihood of our systems being affected is really very high. So we wish you to be very vigilant, listen to the news, listen to your radio stations. When any of our systems are affected, the CWSA will bring information to you. Look at our Facebook page as well. We will bring information to you so that you would know if you are affected.
Reporting for SVG-TV News, I am Nikita Tony.
And the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, is preparing to equip Vincentians with the data collection skills that are needed after a disaster. NEMO's Deputy Director, Michelle Forbes, explained to SVG-TV News that a 2-day workshop, which wrapped up here today, sought to train participants in the collection, collation, interpretation, and reporting of damage information, as well as preparing persons who are already trained in initial damage assessment for the instructor course.
Decided at the national level that we are going to use standardized forms. So whatever we use, the Red Cross are going to use that same form to capture that social data, especially, and those buildings and structures that are damaged following the impact of a hazard. And it's important because we recognize coming out of the last few events, we may have had we need to strengthen a bit of the initial damage assessment process, because we need to capture the data correctly the first time, accurate data, so that it can inform us of the needs of the persons who have been affected, not just just focusing on the structures only, because once a home is damaged, we are dealing with lives, we are dealing with people's livelihoods, we are dealing with how are they going to bounce back or get back into a normal state as soon as possible. So we have decided to go through the whole process. There are normally 4 stages of the damage assessment process. This is basically the second stage where you actually go out and collect the data.
Forbes further noted that the workshop, which was organized through the support of the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, allowed persons the opportunity to identify the different stages of damage and the ways to assess same.
When these persons are trained, they go back to their communities or to their agencies, having a better appreciation of the national process, the national damage assessment process, and how they fit in. Also, they're better able to understand how they fit into the national system also, and how they're going to collect the data, who they pass it on to, and the importance. First and foremost, the importance of capturing timely and accurate data, how it actually affects what happens later on, all the processes later on.
Okay. Having completed this workshop, a workshop of this nature, in the event of a natural disaster, what do you expect, or what would you expect from these participants?
All these participants will actually form a part of being able to either to collect or analyze the data. For example, the community members, they will form their teams going out and actually do the initial damage assessment, and the key agencies involved, they too do assessments, but they tend to pull together the data for future for the next phase of the damage assessment process, which will be quantifying the direct damage and the losses that would have been incurred over the event.
Some participants of the workshop took the opportunity to express their satisfaction with the information that they was provided with over the 2-day period.
The information has made me aware, and I think I can now go out there in the event of a disaster and actually do some assessment that would help in rehabilitation and recovery later on down.
I have done this approximately 7-8 years ago, so it's a good refresher for me at this stage.
Okay, and how effective do you think it has been?
This I've been able to apply the skills here before on different occasions, because in North Central Road we're on the eastern side, and the skills learned here are employed directly in times of disaster.
We did basically a crash course kind of training before, and it wasn't as intense, and a lot of it didn't really register, but now we went a little bit more in depth. It's a lot better.
The workshop has been very interactive, and there has been a largely group dynamic. In terms of the content, it has been really a mouthful. It has been really relevant towards our situation here.
Yes, it has been effective, but then it's one thing to learn something in theory. When you go on this site, it's a whole different thing. But at least you have a better understanding of what is expected of you.
And that brings me to my other question. Do you think that you're now equipped with the skills to apply yourself in the event of a natural disaster?
I would want to say yes, but then you know how sometimes when after an event you're emotionally and you're distressed, so you might not be able to respond right away. But once you regain your composure, I think I can assess persons. Yes.
In other news, Friends of the Argyle International Airport, USA, have made its final contribution towards the construction of the Argyle International Airport, and the organization will now focus its attention on assisting with other projects here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. On Friday, September 2nd, 2016, $10,000 was handed over to IDC's communications officer Jennifer Richardson in New York. Deputy chairman of the FAIA USA, Alpheus Phillips, said they were happy to contribute to the project as it is necessary for the development of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. He said although fundraising was not always easy, they were happy to do it knowing that it was for a worthy cause, and while this was their final contribution contribution to that particular project. The organization had made prior donations totaling $45,000. Admitting that in the whole scheme of things, their contribution represented a drop in the bucket, Phillips said he was glad they were able to contribute and were now looking forward to the operational phase of the airport. IDC's communication officer, Jennifer Richardson, while accepting the check, thanked the group for its continued support over the years and noted that while the funds were appreciated, of greater significance was the group's support over the years. Attributing the outstanding growth of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, the OECS, a credit union, to the decision by credit unions across the region to cooperate as a sub-region, Education Committee Chairman of the St. Vincent and Grenadines Teachers Cooperative Credit Union, Philbert John, said despite the movement's challenges, unity among the respective unions remains intact.
The team back then was facing tomorrow's challenges together. And indeed, today's challenges, the nature and extent of the challenges have changed tremendously. And we are still working together to tackle those challenges. We are looking forward particularly to issues relating to the youth. We are emphasizing youth development, and we welcome particularly the Youth Forum. We expect representation from the Teachers Credit Union of over 30 members.
President of the General Employees Cooperative Credit Union, Kelvin Pompey, pointed out that St. Vincent and the Grenadines has and continues to be at the forefront of the credit union movement and pledged his union's full participation at the 2016 summit.
We consider it at GECU an opportunity for members and of committees, staff and volunteers to be further educated in what is current and what are the issues affecting the credit union movement. We also see this 14th summit as an opportunity to reposition the credit union movement once more, I think, to market it even more in the members and the general public of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, given the tremendous work that the credit union movement is doing in fostering and building lives both at the individual and the community level. And we also think that would be a good opportunity for even more, I think, further policy intervention.
And Chairman of the St. Vincent Automotive Cooperative Society, Brian Alexander, expressed his organization's gratitude at having been allowed to participate in this year's proceedings.
We operate under other similar principles as the credit union. We are governed by the Cooperative Societies Act, number 12 of 2012. We have a board of directors in place and a supervisory committee, etc. Hence the reason I stated we are pleased to be part of the Cooperative League and to attend the 14th annual summit. We take training and development and education of the cooperative sector very seriously. We will be represented by the entire board of directors and senior management of the society. Actually, our manager, Mr. Lancer Stevenson, is part of the planning committee of this summit.
The summit will be held from September 14 to the 18 at the Bucament Bay Resort. And the annual general meeting of the Eastern Caribbean Collective Organization for Music Rights, ECHO Inc., will be held here this Saturday at French's House. The chairman of the Music Rights Organization, McCarthy Murray, is expected to report to members on an 8% growth in membership as well as an increase of 35% in its revenue. The chairman is also expected to report on an 86% increase in distributable revenue from local, regional and international authors of music. Members from Antigua, Commonwealth of Dominica, Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis and St. Vincent and the Grenadines are expected to take part in the AGM by audiovisual technology. The police here are investigating the death of 25-year-old Serrano Maki, who died of gunshot wounds on Tuesday evening. Reports are that Serrano Maki, who is a Fairhall resident, was driving along the Glen Public Road around 8:40 p.m. when he was shot, causing him to lose control of the vehicle he was driving. Police say the deceased, who is a mechanic by profession, was pronounced dead on the scene. Meantime, SVG-TV news team visited the family of the deceased, where a mournful Veronica Maki, mother of the deceased Serrano, noted she received the shocking news about her son around after 10 p.m. She laments that she last saw her son on Tuesday morning when she lectured him on a specific scripture from the Bible. The tearful mother stressed that she had a strange dream that night before and had urged her son to return to living a life with Christ.
Monday night, wake Tuesday morning, as I was sleeping. In my sleep, I just hearing, bide with me. Fast, fast the evening tide. And I keep singing it. And I did telling him the life that he's living is not right. He was a Christian. He knew the Lord. He ran away from light and gone into darkness. And the Lord want him. And he must turn around now. And he sit down good and he listening to me, and I tell him what I was hearing in my sleep. And then he leave, he say, Mommy, I know what? I going to run to town. I say, not yet. Finish painting under the downstairs for me, because he started Sunday. When I gone to church, he come and do it for me, but he didn't finish. I say, don't finish doing the downstairs for me. He say, yes. I will go to town and come back and I will do it for you. And he never come back.
Maki said while she had no knowledge as to whether her son was involved in gangs or any type of illegal activities, he was a jovial of character who liked to make others laugh.
But anytime I see he come, we all make jokes. He go and call me to the bathroom, and my daughter come and give him a scrub up. And when we don't scrub him up, he go and come out, ooh, I feel just like a young baby. And we always having kicks with him. Not was a son to give me anything. He wasn't giving me anything. But I know that is my son, and I love him. He's my last son. I love him, and I will miss him a lot.
Meantime, Sister Shimora Duncan said she last saw her brother on Tuesday morning when he was playing with her daughter. She added she shared a good relationship with her brother.
He said to me, "There's a making a rounds and come back. I'll be back soon." Last night when we got the news, it was so shocking. When I first got the news, I didn't believe at the time. I kept calling his phone. I got no reply. I started sending WhatsApp messages, no reply. I said, no, something gotta be wrong. When I look on Facebook, then I saw his picture. And then it's when I got to believe.
According to Station Sergeant John Balla, the matter is under investigation.
As far as we know, while he was driving, someone opened fire on the vehicle. He got shot.
How many shot wounds did he succumb to?
I really can't say, but he had multiple gunshot wounds. We're still waiting for the autopsy report from the doctor.
54-year-old Anthony Newbold, who was in the passenger seat at the time of the incident, received a gunshot wound to his right leg and is currently in stable condition at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital. In other news, Minister of Agriculture Suboto Caesar is appealing to citizens to lend support to local farmers. His comments came at a recently held exhibition in the Greg's community as he stressed on the importance for persons to purchase local produce, which he says contribute to national growth and development.
I would like to see not too distant future for Asfaco and Gremco to set up right in front here some stalls where on a Saturday or Sunday morning or a Friday morning, persons from Greg's and surrounding areas can come right here and purchase all their vegetables. And I am going to be one of the first ones to come and support you. Some of us are leaving the carrots on the Rastaman window, and we are leaving the lettuce by Ray. We have to not only preach buy local, but we have to purchase locally within our villages and communities.
Minister of Transport and Works Julian Francis says while repairs have been carried out in several schools throughout the country, more will be done. Minister Francis made this announcement on the ULP Speaks program last night, where he noted that the government is concerned about the educational well-being of all students.
But we are back to school and kids are out in their whites and their greens and their blues and their brown and everything else, and they're well starched, well ironed, well washed uniforms, looking smart as ever. A sure sign of a good education system that is in place. I know more could have been done during the summer vacation with regards to some cleanup here and there, but we didn't get it all done. But those schools that were selected for repairs were repaired, and the repairs will continue. So even if your school has a couple things yet to be done, Bragsa is still there and will still be coming around to do little things here and there.
The minister used the opportunity to encourage all students to do their best this academic year.
Good summer vacation and brain and body well rested and de-stressed, and you are ready to take up. Those who are entering final years this year for different subject matters and different examinations, remember to put your heads to the wheel, your hands, your shoulders, everything, and to give it that shot. Sometimes a little bit more effort brings in serious and surprising results. So I encourage all of you to take this year very seriously, and once again let us be proud at the end of this school year that our students perform and make us proud.